This is Get Real with Bob and Stacey, the show that helps you learn about the mortgage and real estate markets. Get the inside scoop from their expert list of guests and have some fun along the way. Now, here's Bob Gallagher and Stacey Alcorn.
Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Get Real with Bob and Stacey. We've got a great show coming up for you. We've got our first guest on the phone today with us, Adam Kirsch, CEO of Urango. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So before we start, I want to give a little bit of background on Adam, and then we're going to ask him some questions about this pretty cool startup company that he has, which is growing in parts of New York. So prior to joining Urango as CEO, Adam launched and sold Beacon Records. Now it's called Daily Beat Media, a music marketing and management firm. And he worked in consulting and marketing. Outside of entrepreneurship, he's a reader, writer, loves sports, and fencing. How unusual. That's a little different. He's also an alumnus of Cornell University, where he has been studying industrial and labor relations and is currently pursuing his MBA. So first off, tell us about Urango.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the intro. So Urango was born out of a simple vision, and that was that renting should be simple and it should be digital. I grew up in a family of landlords. My grandparents are landlords in New Jersey, and I realized that there's a tremendous opportunity for the folks just like them, the mom and pop landlords who are in your state, in your city, on your street, who are everywhere and managing property businesses, to really empower those individuals with an online tool. A lot of folks I spoke to were using tools that just weren't well suited for their businesses. They're using pen and paper. And really, I think the landlords of today, the landlords of the 21st century, deserve a straightforward online tool to help them run their businesses. So at Urango, we have two products. The first is a site for listings and sublets. If you visit urango.com today, that's what you'll see. And the second that I'm very excited about is an upcoming management software that will allow individuals not only to manage their listings, but to also keep track of documents pertaining to their rental business, payments, maintenance, and communication with their tenants.
That's pretty cool. So is this something that strictly the landlords would use, or would at least in the Boston marketplace, a lot of the big landlords have property management companies. Is it something that a property manager could use as well?
Absolutely. This is a tool that would be accessible both to landlords and property managers, and would allow them to become much more efficient in their work.
Wow, that's cool. So kind of keeps track of everything. So how did you originally find the company? How did you come up with the idea?
Yep. So Urango is, kind of born out of seeing it firsthand, the challenges facing small to mid-sized landlords and their tenants. And the fact that there was kind of this opportunity and people wanted something different from what was on the market. We were very lucky off the bat to find a couple of alumni from Cornell who were able to support us in our vision. We had a lot of great support from the university in terms of their accelerator program, in terms of co-working space that allowed us to get up off the ground fairly early, hit the ground running, and kind of learn the fundamentals of business to bring that vision to reality.
How do you guys get paid?
So we charge landlords a monthly subscription fee for our upcoming management software, and then the listings are handled on a per-listing basis.
That's awesome. I want to buy advertising space on Urango.
That's not a bad
for
idea.
my sales. Do you sell advertising? I only do. Well, we
why
don't,
rent when you can buy, right?
Yeah. Do you sell advertising space? I'm giving them a whole new revenue idea right now.
Yeah.
No, our site is ad-free except for those that are relevant rental listing.
Gotcha. Okay, so why did you go after the smaller landlords and not like massive developments where they own hundreds and hundreds of units?
Yeah, so I love the developers who are getting out there and putting their stamp on the world. But for us, it was kind of twofold. First, it was growing up in that and knowing what that was, knowing what it was like. And seeing kind of the immediacy and need there. And second was most of the products on the market really do go after that large, the large developers, the large properties first. Whereas these smaller individuals who are everywhere, all across the country, have similar needs, but no product that was really tailor-built to them. So after interviewing many dozens of these small to mid-sized landlords and managers, said, hey, we're going to be that product that's tailor built for you.
What percentage of properties, investment properties, are owned by smaller landlords? Is it big?
I mean, it's quite a few. If we're talking strictly multifamily houses, not even getting into anything more than that. I mean, those are 4 million homes across the country.
Wow.
Just talking multifamily.
Wow.
Jeez. I didn't realize it was that high. That's quite a bit of business potentially.
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about being an entrepreneur, because when I was looking at some of your background, you have basically been in all kinds of competitions, like New York Business Plan Competition, Cornell Venture Challenge Business Plan Competition, a college pitch competition. You were a semifinalist at Harvard Business School Real Estate Venture Competition. So first of all, how do you find stuff like that for other students, for example, that want to try their hat at being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, well, I think, something that was kind of imbued in me from when I was very, very young is that it is possible to work for yourself. I grew up in a family business, both in real estate, and then we also had something in the food and beverage space. And for me, every day, kind of as a child, I was going home to that environment where I saw my family working for themselves, going out, kind of creating their own destiny, being able to do it independently. And it took a lot of the fear away from me. I think that, for folks who are looking to get involved in startups or the entrepreneurial scene, if you don't have that opportunity, give yourself some exposure to that. Work with startups, work with entrepreneurs, go to networking events, meet folks in that world. For us, we've done a lot of the kind of pitch competition circuit, both at the college level and some non-specific college events. And for us, that's an opportunity not just to, kind of test our concept in competition and say, hey, do our assumptions logically support a sound business plan, but also to really meet other folks who are doing it and kind of learn from their knowledge, whether it be judges who are also in the venture capital community or folks who have been there and done it before on the startup side, or even potential customers in some of these cases.
Yes. How did you hook up with your business partner? It's Anton?
Yes. Yeah. So it's a funny story. We actually fenced against each other in high school.
Wow.
A few years back, but didn't really know each other. We were both students at Cornell for undergraduate, Anton in the computer science department, myself more on the business side. And we had both previously co-founded startups. He ran a venture called Dapper in the social media space. And, eventually we just saw this opportunity to come together and collaborate with something that we both felt strongly that, was a big idea that would do a lot of great things for a lot of folks.
Interesting. So you guys both had startups before this one?
Yes.
And are those businesses still going or no?
So Daily Beat is. So
Okay.
my business, Beacon Records, is now Daily Beat Media.
Yep.
My, those guys are still doing a great job. My original partner's involved in the business, and they're out there killing it. Dapper's unfortunately no longer with us, but they had a great idea, a lot of creative things they were doing with the social media world.
That's awesome. And a lot of times with startups, I think a lot of it's just like the network. For example, I'll say I interviewed the other day for an article I was doing a gentleman who's built this massive platform, and it's called JobCase. It is kind of like a LinkedIn, but for non-professional workers. So like workers that are, working at McDonald's or Walmart, things like that. So he's got this massive platform that he's built. But what's so interesting, he's killing it in his field, but that's not the business he started. He started a totally different business, and then he pivoted, and then he pivoted again, and then he ended up with a company that looks nothing like the original company. But now it's like he's just building a massive empire.
Yeah, I think if you see that opportunity and you have the desire to go and learn, then chase it to make it happen.
Yes. So you're in the process of growing. Where do you see your Rango in 5 years?
I think we see ourselves really expanding across the nation, being able to, do a lot more for folks in the property management space, be that property management software of choice for small to mid-sized landlords, and also introduce kind of new and exciting products for other folks who are involved in residential rental real estate.
Why does it have to be rental anyways? Like, I could use this just for
anything.
Yeah, like living.
Yeah.
Like all the paperwork and bills that you get just to manage a household. Interesting.
Yep.
You know what, though? If you actually knew what you spent to manage your household, you may not want to see the number month
I
after
know.
month.
That's true.
So why don't you tell us how you got started? You talked about briefly some of those programs you did with Cornell. You mentioned that one of the things that helped you get started was an accelerator program with the school. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, certainly. So we had the good fortune to go through Cornell's eLab Accelerator program, which effectively brings together so the top student entrepreneurs at Cornell, provides really hands-on coaching from a team of staff, a management team that is drawn from the entrepreneur community. You're able to earn credit for your venture. We have access to a co-working space, and everything culminates at the end of the day, or at the end of the year in Demo Day, where they bring in a huge crowd during Cornell's Entrepreneurship Celebration. You've got hundreds of folks on campus who are entrepreneurs themselves, angel and venture capital investors, really there to hear you and your business, to provide feedback for you, and in some cases they'll go forward and fund. eLab also makes an investment in the teams going through it. And for us, it was really a catalyst. It taught us kind of the fundamentals of running an entrepreneurial business, everything from that key customer discovery, figuring out what's really wrong, what pain are you really solving for a customer, to developing it further, understanding how to sell, understanding how to pitch. And on top of that, getting that high-level view of how do my product, my strategy, my operations fit together so that I can go through and create something of value to customers.
I think that what you just described right there should be part of every college education, not just a master's. I think that's one of the reasons we have, in our respective businesses, Stacey, there's such a disconnect between what we're looking for and the talent that's available, because knowledge isn't necessarily the key. It's the practical application of what you learned in college that makes the difference.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty impressive. Now, not everybody that comes out of Cornell starts a business, in the final semester of their master's. What do you think makes you different from the rest of the people you're going to school with?
Yeah, I think for me, I came in knowing that I saw myself in an entrepreneurial setting. Whether it be intrapreneurial or entrepreneurial, the building is really something that appeals to me. And knowing that with Urango, we had an opportunity to address a large market across the country that has a real need, and a real need that I've seen firsthand, gave me the confidence to move ahead with that business and that venture. The ability to have a phenomenal team with me, that really is, seeing the vision as I see it. And plus the coaching and resources kind of around that, I feel collectively those things are what said, hey, this is the time. If I'm going to launch a venture, this is the time. Smart.
And it really does come down to timing, too. When's Urango going to be available?
So we'll be coming out, towards the end of this quarter with our management software product. So if folks are interested in, getting on the list for that, they should shoot me an email, adam@urango.com. Urango spelled YORANGO. .com, and we've got a lot of exciting things in the pipeline that we're excited to share.
And you said it's going to be, a few months before it's available?
Yes, so we'll be moving into our next stage of beta testing with a handful of individuals. There's still a handful of those spots available, but a broader release, we're still a couple months out.
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome stuff. I can't wait to get on. Basically, we are talking to Adam of Urango, and his software basically provides a program for small to mid-sized landlords, and it handles the listing, rental payments, e-signing, maintenance management, and then message and application tracking. Sounds like it handles anything that is related to an investment property. Pretty cool stuff.
Excellent. We wish you luck with it, Adam, and maybe we'll have you back towards the end of the year, and you can give us an update on how the release went. So that's going to do it for this segment, Stacey. We got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Get Real with Bob and Stacey after these messages.